2019, what's the difference between that woman?
She grew up. She grew up. She learned to be considerate. She learned to be patient. She learned to drop her ego off. She learned how to love and become a wife and a mother. And I think to sum that all up, she just simply grew up. Yeah, you know, when you say 15 years ago I was that boss and everybody listened and everybody followed, and that sounds cute. But when you really think about that, who wants to be in that position? Because a boss is flawed like everybody else. And that's a heck of a position to stand in where everybody listening to you. Well, who listens to you? So when I really think about it now, back then I wore it with pride. I wore it with honor. It's boss and I'm running it. But when you really put it together, there was so much that I missed. Focusing in on being a boss. I missed on how to be the best mother I could be.
Right.
How to be the best wife I could be. I missed out on so much. So I'm grateful for the journey. And I'm grateful for the lessons. But the Monique 15 years ago, she just grew up. But I'm grateful for every moment that she had to have to get to this moment.
Right. Yeah, and you're right. You have to go through things to get to certain places. Because I remember that back in the day, they NBA players, NFL players, I thought I was that girl.
Come on now.
But some things come and knock you off your horse and show you that you ain't really that person you thought you is. You know what I mean?
You know, and when you say, you know, Monique, you've done a lot for my life. I don't think people understand how much y'all have done for my life. Like, to walk out on the stage and you're sitting there in front of me and you took your money and you purchased a ticket and you could be doing anything else with your money, but you decided you was going to come see me. Or we were in the store somewhere and you said, Monique, can I have a hug? And I said, only if you hug me back. Like, it goes both ways.
Right, absolutely.
So when you say how impactful, it goes both ways. As impactful as you believe me to be to you, you are to me.
Oh, wow, that's
so
amazing.
But
it's
that's
a give and
how
take.
celebrities get lost. Because we start believing, look what I'm doing. I'm changing your life. I'm saving your life. And not understanding that's a two-way street.
Right. And it's not all about the money.
Oh.
At all.
You know, the moment we make it about the money is the moment we lose. And yes, we need money to live.
Absolutely.
Please understand
Absolutely.
me. But the moment that becomes just the focus, you lose because you've not focused on anything else but just the money. So you forgot to focus on your marriage. You forgot to focus on your children. You forgot to focus on your friendships. You forgot to focus on yourself. You just got caught up in making the money. Right. So now we have a lot of bosses out there who are very lonely.
Very lonely, I agree.
They got all the stuff. She riding in her fancy car right now. Toot your horn. Toot it.
Toot it, right.
Toot it.
Right.
But ain't nobody sitting by the side.
Sitting by the side. You absolutely correct with that, because I know a lot of millionaires that's long, and they commit the most suicide. You know, you see them all the time. They're not happy. They got everything they could ever want. You'd be like, what's wrong with their life? But they just not happy. And I get that. So we're going to switch up a little bit to some fun stuff.
Switch it.
You know, stepping on stage for the very first time, Queens of Comedy. How was that?
The first time I stepped on stage, it was a euphoric feeling that's unexplainable. Because being a little girl, wanting attention, you know, you're wanting that attention. I'm a fat little girl, so I want that attention, and it didn't always come, you know. So, but I wanted that attention. So to step on stage in that moment, and you're looking at me on purpose, it was like, for real. And then they stood up when I was fit for real. It was, I want that. After that night, I knew that's what it was.
You knew that was meant for you, right?
I knew that's what it was, baby. After that night, I knew it. I was like, I can cuss, honey.
And get paid to do it.
This is my friend.
Exactly,
Yes.
exactly. I love it. Well, we have Eric, our super fan, in the building. Eric, do you have a question that you would like to ask Miss Monique?
I have many, but I'm going to whittle it down. But first, I just want to say this is a complete honor and a pleasure to meet you. Thank you for doing this. And I want to tell the people who can't see you, Monique is gorgeous.
Baby.
I've been watching you on Instagram. You've been working out and eating right, and it shows.
Thank you, brother.
Girl. Anyway, make a man want to change his ways. Okay.
Come on now, yes.
All right. But yes, I do have. I have several questions, but I'm going to keep it short. And want to talk about inspiration.
Okay.
Who were some of the people who inspired you that made you want to get up on stage and do this? And have you had the opportunity to meet any of your idols, and what was that like for you?
Wow, great question. Who were the people that inspired me? And I would have to say it was some family members. That they were these very funny people, but didn't realize they were these funny people. And I would watch them be naturally funny, not trying to be funny, and that made me feel good. Like to hear my Aunt Bessie cuss, baby, was something that was magical. It's like when she cussed, she sung. It was like, it was this beautiful melody, just
Poetry.
oh, baby, and she would put words together. Eric, I'm like, is that a combination? So, it was beautiful, right? And then my Uncle Billy, who was a drug addict, but my favorite uncle, but the way he would cuss was just magical. And when the two of them got together, they was like singing this wonderful duet. And I said, when I grow up, I want to be able to do that. So when I had the opportunity to step on stage, I was like, oh my God, I can cuss like my Aunt Bessie and my Uncle Billy. So I would have to say it was them that inspired me to have the freedom to say those things out loud.
That's deep.
And the other question was what, baby?
Have you had the opportunity to meet any of their inspirations, and if so, what was it like?
Yes. I had the opportunity to meet Richard Pryor.
Oh, wow.
And I remember meeting Richard Pryor at the Kings of Comedy movie premiere, right?
Okay.
And he was in the wheelchair. This is when MS had, had him.
Yes.
And he had, signaled me to come over to him. And I walked over and I was so honored. I was just so blown away. And he took my hand and he pulled me down to him. And he whispered in my ear, don't ever change.
Wow. That's powerful.
Ooh.
So,
Priceless.
to hear that come from one of the greatest to ever do it, and to know that he paid attention to this little girl from Baltimore, Maryland, it was just such an honor. And, that's one of those ones you cherish forever, because you got it from one of the greatest to ever do it.
That's awesome.
That's awesome.
Thank you for that.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's awesome, Monique. I promise. You're so powerful with the words that you speak. I was just like, oh, it's just amazing. So, transitioning from comedy,
Yes.
and then you went into this role, playing Mary
Yes.
in Precious.
Yes.
What was that transition like for you? And how did you prepare for it?
It was so much fun, baby. Let me tell y'all something. Oh my
Tell it.
goodness. Let me tell y'all something. Okay, so when Lee sends me the script, right? By the time I get to page 10, this script, Eric, is something that was like, what in the world am I reading? I called him up. I said, Lee, what is this? He said, I know, right? He said, oh. It was. What I've always said about Lee Daniels is he's brilliant visionary.
He is.
Cool.
And I'll never, ever take that from him. The way that brother put that together was just beautiful. And I will forever be grateful that he trusted me to play that character. Because oftentimes when you're black, fat, and funny, that's all that they believe you can be.
Right,
It's black,
absolutely.
fat, and funny,
Absolutely.
so they won't even give you the opportunity to do that. So Lee Daniels said, no, I see something different. And I'm forever grateful for that. And I remember after I read the script, and my husband and I were talking about it, and Lee wanted to get me an acting coach for this. And initially I was going to go along with it because it's like, okay, I've never played this dramatic role.
Right.
And then I remember my husband saying, that's not what you need. All I need you to do is not judge her and just become her. An acting coach is going to teach you how to act that character. I don't need you to act her. I need you to become her. So the only preparation was none. It was when he said action, I was Mary Jones. That was it. When he said cut, I was Monique. But when he said action, Lee said, give me a monster. Well, I knew that monster.
Right.
That monster was my brother. So all I had to do was recall my brother. So the preparation was memories. And to say, this is a monster and she's real. That woman exists.
Right.
So that was the preparation, just not to judge her. That was the best acting advice ever that my husband
You
said.
pulled through.
He
You
said,
came
"Just
through.
become her."
You was love and hated. You was the most love and hated. That was one of the most critical worlds you've ever did.
And you Monique, I can't stand you. I said, wait a minute. Monique didn't do that.
Right. That was Mary. That was Mary. They had nothing to do with me.
Yes.
But if I may add something really quick,
Of course.
what I want to say about that role of what it meant to me was the scene with Mariah Carey,
Yes.
Gabourey Sidibe, the scene in the office. What you did was take that character for me full circle. And what I found towards the end of that scene is that I said, something has happened to this woman to make her the way she was. She wasn't born this way. Mm-hmm. And you brought that out. And in a funny way, I was able to see and find some compassion for her. It doesn't make what she did and how she was right. But I saw the human being behind that and the pain of what it took for her to become that person.
Yes.
What I felt was, she wanted love. That's all she wanted, was to be loved. But it's hard to show love when you've never had it.
Yes.
Yeah.
And you did it.
Because it stemmed from somewhere. It came from somewhere. She did. You delivered. And so when you walked across that stage to receive that nomination, how was that?
You know, which nomination?
Well, I mean, you got a couple, right?
That's what I'm saying. Which one you talking about? Because there's a different feeling for it,
Yeah.
baby. So I'm trying to be clear
The
about
one-
the feeling you
one-
asking me
the
for.
one for, you got nominated for playing Mary.
Okay, which nomination?
Oh, okay. I think it was was it the Emmy
No.
that you got? Let me see.
No.
I know I got
That
it
was
right.
the Image Award, the Oscar,
The Oscar. That's what we talked. We discussed
Okay.
the Oscar. That's right.
Okay. How did I feel when I got the nomination?
Or when you actually received the award.
You know, Vanessa, I get asked that question a lot. And I'm going to answer it, but I want to start with this, if I may.
Absolutely.
We've been so conditioned to believe that that is the award of all awards. And we never take time out to ask us about our award, which is the Image Award.
Right. Absolutely.
No one ever asked me, Monique, what did it feel like when you walked across the stage to get that Image Award? It was, what does it feel like for the Oscar Award? And when I got the award for the Image Award, I was so honored and proud. And I was so excited because my community said, we feel like you the best one that did it this time.
Absolutely.
It was people that looked like me that said, we clapping for you, baby. So I was so honored because it'll go down in history that an award that was created for us,
Right.
my community said, you deserve
You deserve
one."
that. Right.
Now, when I won the Oscar, please understand I'm grateful for every award I've ever won. But we've got to understand the history of that award. That award was not designed for people that looked like me
Absolutely.
to win it.
I-
And the first one that won it name was Hattie McDaniel. And if you understand what she had to deal with after she won it and the mistreatment and the inequality, when I walked across the stage that night, the feeling I had was, Hattie, I won't let them tell the same story.
Wow.
So that's the feeling I had. Because we keep telling the same story, we just change the face. So now, 50 years from now, 75 years from now, when they read about this award, Oscar, and you still see the black woman fighting for equality to be paid what the award is supposed to mean, I didn't have the feelings that people thought or believed I should have had because they say it's the biggest award.
Right.
Well, it depends on who you're asking.
Absolutely.
So I hope I answered.
Oh, you did. Absolutely. And so we know that image was way more important all day.
There was an award, a plaque I received from Maxine Waters Preparatory School for Women in California. in Crenshaw. That's one of the greatest honors that I could receive, because it was 10 sisters who put their money together and said, "Sister, we want to honor you. Oscar can't touch that.
Can't touch that. Absolutely.
You can't touch that. You can't touch the fact that Maxine Waters is really, she walked the walk.
She did.
So, you know, it's those things that people don't know about that mean the most.
Right. Absolutely. Powerful. I just love you.
I love you
I'm
back,
I
Mama.
promise you. Every time I talk to you, I see you. It's just a bigger and bigger impact. You know, so I'm hoping to walk and tread in your image. Okay.
Hey, baby, we gonna walk together.
so when I want to like to go on to when you have Monique and Sydney's open relationship. I know you get a lot of kickback from that, but I don't believe people really understand.
Kick ups, kick around, kick down,
you know, but they don't understand what that really means. When I see you and Sydney, and I look at you, and I see how when you talk to him, you look over and say, "Hey, Daddy," you light up, you glowing. I see the love, and people don't understand it when they hear the open relationship thing. So, can you elaborate, let people know what you really mean by Monique's and Sydney's open relationship?
Well, what it means is we're open to one another. We're open to each other's thoughts and feelings and emotions, and we're open to not having any secrets. We're open to honesty. We're open to friendship. We're open to it. Now, people will say, well, does that mean y'all can have sex with other people?
Right.
Yes. So that I'm clear.
Yeah.
Yes, that's what that means. That's not a deal breaker in our marriage. However, when we first got together, and I said, I want to be in an open marriage, because I was still a boss.
Right. Absolutely.
See.
I was still whoever make the money, make the rules, baby. And this is what I want to do. I still want to be able to get down how I want to get down. Well, I married my best friend. And at the time, it wasn't my husband. At the time, I was not in love. At the time, I was just protected and safe. It was my best friend.
Absolutely.
But once we fell in love and we became husband and wife, the focus became on being open to each other's hearts. If sex should happen with another person, that's not a deal breaker. It's not. We don't put that kind of pressure on one another.
Right.
But experiencing being in love for the first time, for me, I can't imagine being with another man. I'm not saying I never will. I got a lot of long life. I might go back to Jamaica.
You ain't dead
Okay,
yet.
now I might go take a girl trip. You know,
We'll do the
when I'm
girl
about
trip,
75 or something, see a young tender about 53. Tell him, come on over here and sing some Jamaican songs to me. Come on, sing some things to me. Give me some things. Right. But we don't imprison one another
Right.
to other people's standards.
Right.
So that's what it means for us to be in an open relationship. We play by our own standards, our own rules, what makes us work.
And that's a really good question, because when we had Rodney Perry here on the show, and Vanessa had the show about side chicks, do you believe in side chicks?
Listen,
You think side chicks are winning?
Here we go.
she got right up on my face. This is the part where y'all gonna have to come to the show.
Okay.
But to say, do I believe in side chicks? Let me just say this. We come from a place across the water. And the moment we understand our history is the moment we'll understand about side chicks, second wives, third wives. I've gone to Nigeria, and I did it was their award season, and it was Cuba Gooding and myself, and we were presenting an award. And then they invited us to their home. It was 7 brothers, okay? When we pulled up to their house, I thought we were pulling up to a Ritz-Carlton. Like, I'm talking, this is something different. This is really coming to America.
Right.
Okay? I walk in the house, Vanessa. A sister walks up to me and says, "How you doing, Sister Monique? Welcome. I'm wife number 2 to brother number 4. How you doing, Sister Monique? Welcome. I'm wife number 3 to brother number 6. How you doing, Sister Monique? Welcome. I'm wife number 1 to brother number 4. How you doing?" By the time we were done, it was about 30 beautiful black women surrounding me. Vibrant, gorgeous. And there were all these beautiful black children running around, and you didn't know who was whose child, and it was absolutely mind-blowing. And I looked to my husband and said, "This feels comfortable.
Wow.
This feels like home." And I went to the mother of those 7 brothers and I whispered in her ear, how do you deal with all these women in your house? And she grabbed my arms and just looked at me in my face. Now, she said nothing. But in my mind, I believe she was saying,
She was talking to you.
don't you bring that Western foolishness into my house. Okay. Just because y'all let them catch y'all up in that foolishness.
Right.
Our men are kings.
Right.
So where I was in a position where I actually saw you can have as many wives as you can afford, no more than 10. So do I believe in side chicks? What I believe in, what is in our DNA? What I believe in, we want to imprison our black men to a white man's standard, and it's hard to do. It's hard to look at our men and say, you better only love me. You better only like me. You better only touch me. I'm the only one for you. Okay, well, listen, I don't knock what nobody believes in because that's what you believe
Absolutely.
in. But when you ask me, do I believe in side chicks? I don't know to call them side chicks. I only know to call what's natural to our black men.
That's real.
Now, don't y'all get to emailing and saying nothing. Just come to the show and I'll fill you in on the rest of
But
the
that's
story.
real. That's real, though, because if you do look at the history, a man was able to have more than one wife, 2 wives, but they had to be able to take care of them all.
Oh, well, come on now. Come on, you got to fill it
You know,
in. Right.
you
right.
know, so-
I said they lived in what looked like it was the Ritz
Exactly.
Carlton.
Absolutely.
I didn't say they was in the one studio and there was 6 of them. Okay, I said
You said the Ritz
it looks like the Ritz Carlton. That's what I said.
Now, you said something earlier that really caught my attention in regards to the relationship is what you and your husband make it.
Yes.
I completely agree with that. And I think what people forget, monogamy is hard. We're not naturally monogamous. It's not a natural state. It's something that society has said we need to opt into.
Yes.
This is how you should live your life. And if you don't live your life this way, then you're a bad person or you're a side piece. I believe, and I'm only speaking for myself, is that if 2 people are honest in their relationship about their wants, their desires,
Yes.
their needs, and there's no judgment between the 2, then then it's not cheating.
Yes.
Because cheating is when there's a secret.
Come on now. Come on. You gotta be a super fan.
Just when you thought I wasn't paying attention.
Come on now. You gotta be a super fan. What is Twin Powers activation?
Y'all better listen up. She telling it.
And it's
She telling
knowledge.
it.
That's real knowledge.
And I'll say I'm not saying anything unique. I'm not saying anything that is unreal. You know, and this is my 3rd husband. 3rd husband, but my first time understanding my position as a wife. And when you're married to your best friend, it's conversations that you have as friends that you really say, this is who I am and this is who I am. Can we accept each other like that?
Absolutely.
And when those 2 people say, yes, we can, other people's opinions doesn't matter. I don't need your validation or your approval. This is what works for us.
Right.
And you have people out there that's listening to us right now that's husband and wives, but they don't know each other. They go to
Absolutely.
bed as strangers. That
I
woman may
agree.
not know what that man's fantasy is. That man may not know what her fantasy is. So now I creep because I'm too afraid to say, oh, by the way,
Right.
I like mayonnaise with that. You like
Absolutely.
mayonnaise with that. Wait a minute,
We
what you
win.
like? What, that's what I like with. And then when you tell him, when you say I like mayonnaise with, he'd be like, you know what? I like mayonnaise
too.
with it
Right, absolutely.
I was too scared you was gonna think I was crazy for liking mayonnaise with my peanut
Absolutely.
butter.
Right.
But you like
Not with the peanut butter.
Right. Don't let yourself Vanessa. But when you say I'm not looking for approval,
That's true.
I'm not looking for your validation. I'm okay with the way I do it. That's what gives you a freedom that most of us are unafraid to walk into.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna get me 5 men to stay in my big house with me.
Get
Is that
them.
okay?
Get them. Say what?
Yeah, I got one to watch the car. I'm gonna have one to watch the car, one that's gonna pay all the bills. You know, yes. One can
But
cook.
what you doing to the
I'm gonna take care of mine.
Okay, you got to bring your.
I'm gonna bring them. I'm
You know
coming
the
with
best
it.
example I can give y'all of
Right.
a beautiful situation. One time I was watching Discovery Channel. I'm going to share this.
Discovery Channel.
Not Discovery
You get it from everywhere.
Yeah,
You're right from everywhere. Right? I'm watching Discovery Channel and I'm watching these gorillas. right? And it was a young gorilla up in the tree, female young gorilla up in the tree. And then the older female gorilla climb up in the tree. And the young gorilla is eating berries, right? And the old gorilla tapped the young gorilla and said, give me some of your berries. Now y'all say, Monique, how you know what she was saying? Because I was in the spirit. So she said,
Right. You
she
can
said,
say
give
that's
me
right.
some of your berries, right? And the young gorilla go and try to elbow the old gorilla, right? Baby, that old gorilla reached around and slapped that young gorilla on the side of her face so hard that the silverback gorilla, the king gorilla, he ran